I'll get it after a while. I apologize for the guys that are jumping back on. Something is going on with the app, with the YouTube app, and I tried to get on a few times and it knocked me off the first time. So I don't know what's happening. So if it knocks me off again, I do apologize in advance. I don't know what's happening with this app this morning. But anyway, guys, as I was saying in the first video, go ahead and drop in the comments, why do you play? I'm trying to get this loop together. Look like my coordination is off this morning. All right. There we go. Greetings to you, man. Thank you. Y'all good this morning? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Kenya, Africa. Got a lot of African people today. So remember, go ahead and drop in the comments. Why do you play? It's something I want to talk about today, just for a little short. I'm not going to be on here long today, but be sure to drop that in the comments. Why do you play? Let's talk about that just for a second. It's a hard card to get. Yeah. stuff coming up. I'm reading your comments. When I play, it's like pure joy. Yeah. Play for the love of it. Jerry, I see you. Kofi said, I play because I love to. That's good. Absolutely. Watching from Rochester, New York. What's up, man? So I'm asking people to comment why you play. As you coming in, leave a comment for why you play. And if I get cut off in the middle of this, guys, I do apologize in advance. Something has been going on with the app this morning. That's why I had to log back on a second time. So I apologize in advance if I get cut off. Y'all don't stop coming in. We'll figure it out on the next broadcast. For some reason, like I said, the app is doing something weird. From France, what's up, man? I'm going to keep playing while y'all coming. I'm trying to stop. All right, let's see here. I've been missing some stuff. Oh man, y'all got some good tones of the bass from South Africa. Thank you, Dean, and allowing myself to be a vessel for God to use in whatever manner He sees fit to. Good stuff. Martin Hodge, nice sound. Thank you, Martin. Clifton, bless his name, man. Thank you. I mean, that's can't help but do it, man. I am from New Jersey, and I love to play the bass when I'm grooving. It relaxes me. It does, man. It has a way when you're just playing and enjoying yourself. It has a way of kind of giving you a peace, man. When you're just really kind of into the moment, it just kind of frees you from all the stresses and all the worries of other things that are happening. I don't drink coffee, but I had me some good tea this morning. So, yep, nothing like that, man, to get it started. Good morning, Jermaine, representing the low end from Knoxville, Tennessee. What up, Fred? Jerome says, I just wanted to also take the opportunity to tell you thank you for that love, man. I appreciate it. 80 says, I'm just now getting into the modes. I guess my passion for playing bass is going up and down. I understand, man. I'm now things now recently got into playing the bass again. Totally understood, man. And it's rocking back and forth. I'm trying to get this set up here. But yeah, it's totally cool. However you got started, whatever the reason it is for you playing, it's just make sure it's pure. Because when you start playing for playing just for money. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you're trying to be a musician just to make, there are opportunities. I'm saying that jokingly, but there are opportunities out there for you to do well, to succeed as a musician. But you have to really look for them. You have to really look for those opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities out there, but the musician field is getting very saturated. Like there's a lot of people doing what you do, and it's a saying that only the strong will survive. There's some truth to that. Yeah, only the strong will survive, but at the same time, the ones who are resourceful will also survive. It's a tough, it's a tough thing, and you have to really figure out what it is you want to do after establishing why it is. And you really never lose the why. And that's the biggest thing I want to talk about. You never really lose the why of why you started playing. You could have been motivated by, like you said, family members were playing and you were the only one who wasn't playing, and so you wanted to play something too. So let's call that inspiration from family, or that sense of I need to play something because everybody else does. What's up, Chris, man? Good to hear from you this morning. So it's like whatever your reason was for you starting playing, now you're here. And one of the biggest things that I encourage you guys to do as you're remembering your reason for why you started playing, now start to embrace or start to look for, okay, now that I know why I'm playing, I want to search out my purpose in doing it. Okay, how can I add value while I'm here, while I have this instrument, whether it's a bass, because I realize I have more than just bass players that watch these broadcasts. But while you're here, figure out, okay, what can I do with this? Now that I can play, now that I've learned the modes and I've learned the scales, I've learned the licks, I've learned all the stuff, I've learned the funky bass lines, I can do all of the stuff. There are many musicians who are very skilled, who are very talented. They have the mechanics, they have everything, they have all of the stuff, but they don't have purpose. AD says was inspired by family, but as soon as I heard the bass, it was just the only thing I heard, music that stuck out and still does. Absolutely. So like you said, like I was saying earlier, we have those initial things that inspire us or that kind of motivates us to pick up an instrument. Some of you may go to a venue or a church or somewhere and you hear somebody just playing and they enjoy themselves and they look like they're having the time of life, and you say, man, I want to do that. Well, that was your reason why you started to do it, but the core of that was that person looked like they were having a blast. And it's like, man, I want to do that because I want to have that fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to have something that I'm passionate about, like this person or like whoever this is that has inspired me to want to do it. And some of you probably can't sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, but you feel like maybe you can get on an instrument and express that same passion that you maybe can't do with your voice. And it's true. You can take that instrument once you have kind of, and I really hate using this term, but mastered your craft. You can really get to the point where you can let this be an extension of your voice. I play because I suffer from deep depression, and if I didn't play, I probably wouldn't make it until the next day. Wow. I definitely get that. But even in that, find a deeper sense. And this is so good. I'm glad you put that, and I'm glad you are honest enough to share that with us. But even beyond that, finding a greater sense of purpose pulls you through those depressing moments. Believe it or not, I've suffered myself with depression. And a lot of good people have. That's why you find a lot of really, really great musicians throughout history who seem like they have everything going for them end up committing suicide or taking overdose. I'm not in that boat, but I'm just saying there are a lot of people who suffer from depression because if you're not careful, we reach those times in our music. And the reason why I say this, who made that comment? Brooks. The reason why I say find an even deeper reason, because you will hit places if you haven't already. Sometimes you will hit places. What's up, Patrick? You will hit places in your playing that if you're not careful, you'll run into that brick wall. And you feel like you can't get inspired. You feel like you can't find that thing that you're looking for, that drive to keep you going. And sometimes you can be playing and still be depressed. As there are times that I've came and I've picked up my bass and I have so much weight and so much heaviness on me. Even playing doesn't do it for me. So digging in and finding that deeper purpose, finding that deeper meaning, how can I add value to someone else? And figuring out how can I use these tools, how can I use these resources for a greater good, for lack of better words. Because when we identify what purpose is and why we have this gift or why we've developed this skill to be able to do what we do, because I've said it on many broadcasts and many lessons before, but we have the ability with these instruments to change a person's outlook on life, to change a person's mode as well as your own. You have the ability, once you put this in your hand and you can play skillfully, or even not just being skillful, because I was saying earlier, mastering the craft, but it's not always necessary to master this instrument. You want to, of course, all of us want to be able to just play whatever we hear, but sometimes being able to master enjoying what you do is sometimes greater than mastering the craft, because I've seen people who have mastered the instrument, but they don't look like they enjoy it. You feel nothing when they play it. It's like a robot that's very good, but it's nothing there. It's absolutely no substance, no feeling, no emotion, no connection, no attachment, anything. It's just, I learned the mechanics of this. I am very good. I can shred. I can do all of this stuff, but there is no connection. There is no attachment to what it is I'm doing. So when there is no attachment, the people who are listening can tell, and you can actually feel it yourself. You feel that, okay, that I've gotten to this place, but there's no fulfillment. And some of us that are ego driven, we're just happy that we're better than most people. We're just happy that we're better than everybody else. And that's good enough for some people who are very, very ego driven. But for the rest of us who actually want to be a light to people, who actually want to bring joy to people, who actually want to make a difference, who are actually searching and seeking out purpose, just being good is not enough. Finding that deeper passion, finding that deeper connection, finding how can I be of value to someone else is that thing that pulls you out of that depression. And so we want to work on those things as you're growing, as you're going back and you're thinking about why do you play. You want to find reasons that pull you out of yourself. It pulls you out of that selfish state. It pulls you out of that state of, I'm doing this for me. It's always about me, me, me. It pulls you out of that posture and begins to have you thinking about how can I affect someone else with what I'm doing. So I'm gonna read a few of these comments that I missed. All right. So Michael, what's up, man? Boonville, Mississippi. Our minister of music needed guitar and bass players. He taught a couple of us 20 years ago. Oh wow, man. Boonville, Mississippi. That's not far from me originally, as you probably already know. A reason we cannot play is because we allow yourself to ingest garbage, watching horror films, too much social media, listening to too much negative music. Absolutely. I completely agree, man. What you take in is gonna definitely determine what you put out, is gonna determine rather what you put out. Me, I took out TV about 4 or 5 years ago. I stopped watching TV, like regular. I'm not saying I don't watch anything, so don't I'm not living in a bubble, but I cancel like basic cable at my house. It's rare that we turn the TV on during the day. The only time I watch anything, I have like an Amazon Prime membership. Literally, I don't even have Netflix, because I realized that was what I was taking in was not helping me. I was trying to make a drastic change in my life. I've been on this journey for a while, and I realized this was not adding any value to me. The things that I was watching, like you were saying, Brooks, they weren't adding any value to me. And so I cut it out. My wife and we cut it out. I started reading more. I started buying books. I started working on my mind and putting things in me that will yield a result that I'm looking for, rather than always regurgitating the same stuff. Because I got tired of that. I got tired of watching the news and it was always negativity, negativity. And some people are like, how are you informed? Well, 4 or 5 years later, I still don't know what's going on, because if you open social media, everybody's going to have you aware. I have an app on my phone that tells me what the weather is. I know when it's time to do all these things that I need to know about. So To me personally, that's my personal conviction. The TV wasn't necessary. I found it to be a time waster for me because you start calculating how many hours spent. I hear everybody talking about what's these shows, Power and all of this kind of stuff. It's like, I can't get into it. Now, like I said, my wife and I, when we wind down at the end of the day, we have 3 kids. And, I'm pretty much out here in my studio doing my thing throughout the entire day. My wife is doing homeschool. And so our time together, we'll find something, we'll find a movie or something like that. And we'll wind down to that towards the end of the day just to enjoy each other's company, or we're just talking and that kind of thing. But most of the time we'll find like one program or something. I'm old school. I like Psych. It ain't that old school. I like Psych. So I watch reruns of a program that I like. And that's what we wind down to. But, you have to be aware. You have to be very aware of what you're taking in because it does affect you and it does cloud your judgment. It does cloud your vision. If you're trying to discover purpose and you're always taking in garbage, it's going to cloud your judgment. It's going to cloud your thoughts. You won't have time to find out what you're supposed to be doing because you're not going to read. You don't have time for that. If you're watching 2-3 hours of TV a day, when do you have time to read? Because after that, you got to take in consideration. You have to eat. If you have a family, you have to spend time with your family. If you go to a gym, you have to spend time at a gym. If you have a full-time job, you have to work. So that doesn't leave much time for getting yourself together. So you have to intentionally make that time in order to discover the things you're looking for. And if you're younger and you're watching this, do it now. Don't wait until you're like me, wait until you're in your 30s before you decide to make drastic changes in your life. I was doing it little by little, but I didn't really start making substantial progress in life-changing stuff until like after I turned 30. And I was doing little stuff, but like making drastic changes. After I turned 30, that's when I started really making drastic changes in my life that started yielding me the most results. So I encourage you guys, if you're younger and you're watching this, to start doing it now. Let's see some more comments here. All right, so Cardell says, top of the morning, everyone. What's up, Cardell? Clear your mind and allow the space to create. Absolutely. Teaching is amazing. Easy to learn, understand, and break down. I appreciate you, man. It's my pleasure, Justin. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Brooks, just keep doing what you're doing. My friend, you are a great bass player as well as instructor. I appreciate that. And the funny thing about it, guys, Chris, man, come on. We got to do better than that, man. Absolutely. Do not do it while you're young. Yeah, Jerry, yeah. Straight away from sharing, I know for a fact there are people on a technical level that are teachers of the technical aspect of this instrument. But once I realized, like I'm telling you guys, once you start realizing purpose and start realizing what you have and what you carry, you start realizing the responsibility you have with the gift. Because a lot of players just like me that play predominantly by ear, a lot of times we stray away from teaching because a lot of us can feel the intimidation of we don't have much to offer. Thankfully, I did, do some studies of theory and, I did some reading as I was growing up, but it wasn't on a major scale like some of your more known teachers that are out here on YouTube. But what I did realize, I could go on and on naming my limitations as you could. I could do that all day. Well, I don't do this and I don't do that. But what do you have? Sometimes you have to look at what do you have in your hand and what do you have that's of some value to other people. Well, I do have a career as a professional musician that I've been doing exclusively over the last, 12, 13 years. And I've been hired for gigs. I've played on some of the largest stages. When it comes to the religious world, I've played at one of the largest churches in the world for over 12 years. And I've traveled with different artists and things of that nature. And so I've had the ups and downs of a career. So I know I have something valuable to add rather than just being a person who only sits on YouTube and sits in a room and practice all these ideas I never execute. No, I've had the ability to get out and work and execute these ideas in a professional setting with the same musicians who were playing with some of your major artists. So being in a setting with them on a regular basis, it's giving me a lot of information. So that's the information that I get on YouTube and share. I don't tell about all of the gigs and all of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my career, because in my opinion, that's not that important. You guys don't care about any of that. Some people do, but I don't. You know, it's great to have to be to reflect on and say, hey, I did X, Y, and Z in my career. That's great. But I don't people who are watching my videos the best for me to get on and tell about everything that I've done all the time, constantly blabbering about, hey, I played for this person, I played. That's great, but you don't care about that. That's not going to help you on your gig. So, looking for purpose, looking for reasons. My reasons for posting videos on YouTube is to add value to you guys who are aspiring musicians, who are aspiring bass players, who you at some time want to play on a bigger stage, helping you to get through some of those fears, helping you to overcome some of those obstacles that you may face. Because you can learn all the modes and learn all the scales, but what happens when you're on a stage and you're in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people and you forget the song? What do you do then? So it's those things we have to think about. Sometimes the practice room doesn't prepare you for things mentally you have to deal with when you're actually in it. When you're in a session and you're getting songs thrown at you and people are paying you to be able to retain information and to be able to execute quickly, how do you do it? So these are things I've gained over the years that I know, hey, I could share some of this stuff and help people to avoid some of the things that I failed at early on in my career. So those are some of the reasons why I get on YouTube and some of the reasons why I share with you guys. And so I'm telling you all of this so you will be able to look at your own self, look at your own reasons, and begin to examine, okay, this is why I do what I do. Or this is some of the reasons I can continue to do this, or this is some of the value that I can begin to add to people with this gifting or with this skill set that I've developed. Figure out how you can reproduce yourself. I have a course that I've created on my website, and it's not necessarily a music course. It's me talking, and I'm sharing tidbits about be productive and multiply. That's the name of the course. If you want to visit JermaineMorgan.net, I break down in over 7 videos how I literally took and how you can take things that you are good at, things that you are passionate about, and turn them into something that can potentially bring profit to you. Now, is it one of those get rich quick things? No, it's not. It's something, some skills and some principles that you can implement that help you to begin to take these gifts and take a skill set or a talent, something passive that you do that you may have that you think nothing about, and to begin to earn money from it. And so that's a side note, a shameless plug there. But I just wanted to let you know I talk about a lot more of this stuff that we're saying now in that particular course. And I tell you guys how it is I done it, how I began to earn income from things that I love to do, and I'm adding value to people at the same time. So yeah, just a little sidebar there. Who is that? Cardell says you do cause I got the Jermaine Morgan Project, and much more, and I listen to what I still do and learn from you. And it has advanced me as a bass player, man. Thank you so much. And for everybody, for you guys that don't know, this may be your first time being introduced to me. I do have music available on my website as well as iTunes, Spotify, all of that. Look up Jermaine Morgan or the Jermaine Morgan Band. There's my most recently released album is called the Jermaine Morgan Band. Dreams Work Reality. This is actually one of the the merch, the hoodies that I'm wearing right now from my band. Dreams Work Reality. So yeah, I do have material. If you're enjoying what you're hearing from my playing, there is music. I do have albums, several albums available, and I really appreciate you guys who have been loyal fans, loyal supporters. I really appreciate you, man, and I count it an honor because I know there's so many more people you can listen to. There's so many more people you can lend your time and your ears to, other than me. So I don't take it lightly. I'm not conceited, any of that stuff, because I know it's a privilege and an honor to do what it is we do. And I do realize, as most people don't, for whatever reason, this could all be over. This could all be over tonight, today, in the next 15 minutes. This could be over. And I think when people become arrogant and conceited and proud and puffed up about their gift or their skill or their ability, they forget this could all be over. You could have a stroke. You could have a heart attack. You could stop breathing for no reason. There are people who have been in perfect condition and they died for no reason. So I'm extremely grateful to God for the opportunity to share what I have, and I'm completely humbled that people would take time to listen to what it is I have to offer. And I pray and hope that I can, my days that I remain here, I can continue to add value to you guys, and I continue to inspire you guys if I have in any way. And those are my hopes. Those are my whys. And I hope to, like I said, continue to do that throughout the rest of my career. I don't know where my career will end up. I don't know where to take me. Hopefully, as I begin to travel more, I'll get to meet some of you guys as I get out and I travel more around the world. I hope to run into you guys because I'd love to meet the people who've been supporting me and who've been on these live broadcasts, who've been watching these videos. It's so cool when I meet you guys in person. It's very, very cool. I do clinics and I do these different functions and people tell me in person, like, man, I really enjoyed your videos. That to me is so cool. It's one of the biggest compliments that I can get. Not because you're saying I'm so great or whatever, but just to know that you invested your time into watching something that I produced or something I created. It's an honor and it's a compliment to me for you to lend me your time. So thank you for that. I missed a couple of comments. Uh, Hello, Jermaine. Nice to meet you again online. I appreciate your effort, man. It's my pleasure. Um, how do I create my band? Um, Several ways to go about doing that. It depends. You if you're on social media, that's a way. If the biggest thing to do is find people locally, and if you have a group of people that you're already connected with, that you're cool with, you like, you can start talking to them, throwing around the idea, having a couple people to jam out and see before you just say, hey, I'm solidifying the band. It's better to kind of create chemistry with people because once you create that band, it has to keep going, or y'all going to be doing shows. So the biggest thing is to find people that you already have chemistry with. I say social media because you can, find some people there, but if you can find people that you gel with and you have chemistry with, it's going to create a longer lasting bond. So begin finding people that you have. If you already have people that you have chemistry with, see what they have going on, see what their schedule is, see what type of things they have happening. If they have irons in the fire already, or you might have to just go cold turkey and just find people you don't know and see what y'all can develop together. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of thing. So let's see here. I'm in Chicago, so the next time you in the Shy, I'd love to come hear you live. Absolutely, man. So I hope to be able to do more of that now that I've trying to book more shows. And it's kind of difficult, especially when you're doing it as an independent artist. I don't have management, so if any of you are managers out there, talk to your boy. Talk to. Let's see what we can work out. But I'm in the process of trying to do more and get out more, and hopefully visit some of these towns, some of these cities, some of these countries, some of these states where you guys are. So I look forward to connecting with you there. Listen, my time is up this morning. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak and share with you guys this morning. I hope that something I've said, something that I have played has inspired you to dig deeper with your gift, with your talent. I ask you to do me a huge favor before I jump off of here and give me a like, just a simple like. That helps this video to be found by more people on YouTube, helps me to discover more people just like you. If you don't mind, do your boy a favor. So those things really, really help me. And I really appreciate you guys dropping the comments and you being transparent for the ones of you that have shared while you play, because some of these answers were very, very honest. And I appreciate those answers, man. And it really helps me. It helps me to keep doing what it is I do. It helps me to keep sharing the information that I have. And look out for the video later this week. And also do me a favor, if you made this far in the video, especially if you're watching in the replay, be sure to drop where you're from. And if you'd like for me to visit your state, your city, your country, I'd love to hear that from you. Bless you, my bro. May God continue to do great works in your life, bro. Yes, sir. Thank you for that, Cardell. Which musician gave you the idea to play bass? It's hard to say, man. My mom was a bass player, first and foremost. Yeah, my mom is a musician, multi instrumentalist. She didn't, take it as serious as I did, but she has been a musician for like all of my life. I remember my mom playing, so obviously that inspiration initially come from my mom, and my older brother is a musician as well, Ken Morgan. He plays, but how I came up, it's like they were kind of hobby musicians. They weren't necessarily like, this is what I do. It's just kind of, musicians that did it, on the side type thing, but extremely gifted people. So I learned a lot starting off from my mom and my older brother, just learning or getting inspired to play. And to be honest, I'm a multi instrumentalist, and most people know that. As you can see, several, these instruments in the background here. Um, Karaoke. No, 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 not karaoke, man. Obviously, we just a slight shade difference. Just a slight bit of a shade difference there. But no, man, my mom she was solid on the bass. She can still play. She actually still plays the bass. But yeah, man, I was inspired. And the funny thing, I'll share this before I get off. I grew up in a family, and many of you who've been around for a while, you've heard me say this before. But I didn't set out, hey, I'm going to learn the bass now. The way I came up, my mom played keyboard or piano, and she played bass guitar. My dad, my biological dad, played guitar. But the funny thing is, I really never heard him play when I was growing up. I actually heard more of my uncle play the guitar when I was younger. And so I started playing from being around my uncle. I had an uncle, I have an uncle who plays guitar. He plays mostly blues and gospel. And so I got inspired to play being around my uncle. Around the age of 11 or 12 years old, I began to get inspired from listening to my uncle. Like, he had put the guitar down for many years and he picked it up. I was playing the drums at the time. It's just, I come up in one of those families that they're just musicians, people who played. And so the inspiration to just try out something, it wasn't like, man, I want to play the bass one day. It's like, okay, there's a bass guitar, just pick it up and figure it out. There's a guitar, pick it up, figure it out. Oh, there's a keyboard. My brother played. Listening to them, I began to just pick it up and just start to figure it out. My brother music, just by being surrounded by it and having a family of musicians, so I guess the talent was just there, but the skill set wasn't. It's a difference. You can have the ear for music. It's a difference. You can have the ear for music, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to be able to play. You have to put the work in. I definitely was not a child prodigy. I started late. I started playing bass guitar around 15. I started playing guitar around the age of 12. I started out, my first musical instrument was drums. I played drums probably around 10 years old. I was playing the drums. And I started playing the tuba around the same time I started playing guitar. Imagine that. I was already on the low end. I didn't know it at the time, but yeah, I was playing tuba around the same time I started playing guitar. I don't play tuba anymore because I don't have one. I'll purchase one at some point, but yeah. So yeah, I started playing all those instruments around the same time. Fun fact about Jermaine Morgan, I also started playing the harmonica around the same time I started playing the guitar. Nobody knows that. I don't even play harmonica anymore, but that's one of the instruments. My uncle purchased me a harmonica, and I started playing the harmonica around the age of 11 or 12, around the same time I picked up the guitar. So obviously we can see what won. It wasn't the harmonicas because y'all will be getting harmonica lessons right now. But yeah, so little fun facts about me, just in case you didn't know. And so that's how I got into it. That's how I got started. And that was the inspiration for me, coming from a musical family. And that's how that really helps you man, I suck on the harmonica. I'll sound terrible if I pick one up right now. It's been years since I've played, and when I stopped, I wasn't really that good. I could just do the da 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 da. It was just really inhale, exhale. That was it. Nothing good. It was just enough to make sense a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I could only play in one key. I didn't have the one that had the key change on it. So no Stevie Wonder here, nothing like that. So, but yeah, that's how I got going in music. So, I'm being honest. It's a difference between modesty and honesty. I'm being honest. I was playing the guitar at the age of 4, maybe 5, and I moved to drum. Wow, you got started early. Yeah, I got started late. So if you're getting started late in the game, it's not too late to embrace it and to become really good at it. So stay encouraged. For everybody to watch the video, whatever your why is, remember what that is. And as I leave you, remember or find out what the purpose is and how you can better serve people. So I'm out, guys. Thank you for rocking with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I got things to do and I got somewhere to be. All right, y'all take care. I'm out.